How do you win against a better crew? How do you win when you are completely outgunned and outmatched? You know how you win? You win by stealth. Stealth gives you an extra wild card to play whenever things aren't going your way. The nice thing about this wild card is it can be played before or after your main deck, if you will. So it's always a good weapon to keep well sharpened and at the ready whenever you need it. So let's get underway and teach you how to properly be stealthy within the Sea of Thieves. To get your tucks, you're going to have to go to the Pirate Emporium. There are 2 free tucks available to you. The first one is the Cannonball tuck, hidden in the Hide and Peek bundle. You go in there, first one will be free. This one is a pretty decent tuck, but the best one in this set is actually the Wallhide tuck. But the best tuck overall, to avoid the game being a pay-to-win, is actually hidden in the very last page. It'll be in the Hide and Sneak emote bundle. You go there, grab your freebie, hide. That is your absolute best tuck you will use in everything. When choosing a tuck uniform, you need to keep a couple things in mind. You need to keep it dark and muted, that way it's unappealing to the eyes. The eye doesn't catch it as easy. You need to make it dark so it's harder to see, especially if you're in shadows or it's nighttime. And additionally, if you can use something in the environment's coloration, like a muted green of some kind, that could work. Or if you're in the Devil's Roar, you can even use a glowing orange, because that's pretty common over there. With the tuck uniform, this is the default tuck uniform you will see players using. It's Majestic Sovereign shirt, Ruffian Sea Dog trousers, and Hunter's boots and gloves. Eye patch and other vanity items are optional, with the exception of the peg leg. The peg leg will add extra noise to your footstep that you do not want. It is very crisp and you cannot use that, otherwise you will really alert people as to where you're currently running around. Additionally, this uniform is required for the voyage table tuck on the sloop that I will show, because any other outfit just simply isn't muted enough to hide there properly. However, every other tuck you can get away with a lot more customization, and I usually run a black dog outfit. Thing is, just keep it muted, keep it linked to the environment, and at the end of the day you can get away with some really obnoxious stuff if you're really good, but this is just the generalized basics. Hiding spots in the Sea of Thieves are as limited as your imagination is. Every shadow, tree, rock, brush, you name it, can be used as a hiding spot. Anything that obstructs vision or makes your character harder to see is a hiding spot. You can even go deeper under people to hide there, because they will most likely be looking up, heading for oxygen, unless they are specifically looking for you. We're going to start things off with the sloop. These are the hiding spots I find the most success with. However, there is definitely a considerable amount more, but they're just very situational, because literally every spot on every single ship can be a hiding spot, especially if there's loot planted there or whatever. So starting off, we have the canopy tuck, the anchor tuck, the helm tuck, the cannon tuck, the voyage table tuck, the water barrel tuck, and the crow's nest. Now moving on to the Brigantine, we have the cannon tuck again, the forward mast tuck, the bed tuck, the voyage table tuck, the wood barrel tuck, the map table tuck, and finally again the crow's nest tuck. Moving on to the Galleon, we have the wheel tuck, the cannon tuck, the plank tuck, the captain's chair tuck, the balcony tuck, the board tuck, the forward mast tuck, the harpoon tuck, the lantern tuck, the stern tuck, the rail tuck, the bow barrel tuck, the armory tuck, the stair tuck, the grog barrel tuck, the traditional tuck, and the crow's nest tuck. You may have noticed I did not include the yardarm in any of the listings. That is because if the ship gets moving while you're on a yardarm, you have a very high chance of phasing through it and completely ruining your tuck. How do you read your victims? How do you know what they're going to do before you do it? Well, mostly this is done via deduction and context clues. So, here's an example. If you got a ship you're tucking on and they go do a order souls, you know most likely, if they're good, they're going to grab food if they don't already have it, ammo, and they're going to jump over. Now, when they get back, they're going to bring their loot on, and they're going to put it in wherever their favorite spot is. You gotta watch where their favorite spot is. Everyone has different spots. But once you know the spot, the island, and the spot they're going to go to, you now got a closed circuit that they are going to run without even realizing it. Using this, you can watch them get on board, follow along them as they head to their treasure location, and then dip off to the side right as they start the return trip half of the loop. If you're going to be playing like this and moving around the enemy crew, make sure you are not wearing boots. If you are wearing boots, it adds a considerable amount of extra noise, paired with, if you get wet, it'll add an additional squishing sound for a few seconds after you get out of the water. Becoming a puppet master is one of the highest levels of stealth you can achieve, because if you can use it properly, you can use it to both hide your approach as well as get the enemy to completely turn on themselves and either rage quit or break their alliance or any number of things. It is purely how good are you at this and how tight is their bond. Think of puppeteering as a magician, if you will. He's got the trick he's actually doing behind his back that you can't see, but he's making you look at this other hand that he just made a fireball come out of. It is purely forced, making you do something without even realize you're being forced to do it. Some examples on how you can do this is you can use your ship to sail by on one side of the ship while you're actually boarding the other. You can use explosives on the island to draw their attention, make them look at the explosion. You can also use cannon fire and any number of other things. It's just purely what can you think of. For dealing with alliances, your best bet most of the time will be pop kegs in the crow's nest or use one ship's cannons to shoot the other ship while most of the players are on the island. If you want to even throw a little cherry on top and they're hot micing, you can hot mic yourself and be like, hey, why are you attacking us? And all that level of stuff just to add a little bit of confusion to the scene. Pulling the trigger is the culmination of all of your efforts put into one singular moment. The moment of you stealing everything they have or grabbing that one special item that you have waited all this time for. Pulling the trigger can be as simple as sneaking off of that one chest of legends that they just finally dug up and just jumping overboard and swimming off, or it could be a huge explosion of a mega keg that they put in their crow's nest just for you to ignite. It is up to you to decide on how you pull the trigger, but you've got to remember your own personal limits and you've got to understand what the situation is. If they are going to kill you and you're going to get away with nothing, maybe it's better just to steal the best thing and peace out that way. If they put a mega keg on board and you can pop it and keep them from repairing, then by all means do it. Dropping aggro is pretty common in games with a lot of AI, especially in RPGs. However, you can also drop player aggro as well. People will forget you're there or assume you left. In order to do this, you need to get out of their line of sight, either by killing them or by rounding a corner and then hiding quickly. If they overlook you, then you can proceed to get to a better hiding spot, and then they eventually will give up looking for you, assuming either you A, died, or B, you took your mermaid back. A couple of closing tips and tricks. 1, always trust your tuck. They haven't seen you until they shoot at you. I can guarantee it. It will look like they might have seen you, but don't move until you are certain that A, they've seen you, or you are safe to move to a new location. Practice your hand-to-hand combat. It will save your life more often than you can believe. Practice your parkour skills. If you can outmaneuver people on the islands or on the ship, they will either lose you or you'll get out safe and be able to reevaluate your situation. Never underestimate how effective it can be to hide during the middle of a fight. If you can use a firebomb to blind the enemy while you're hiding, that is a good way to do it. Additionally, if you are jumping onto the board on the side of the ship, you can hide then and they will think you hit the water instead. Never underestimate how effective it is to swim island to island. That is the primary way I get away with stuff, is by swimming. Well, that's it for me. I hope you guys all learned something and you can get some lovely salty messages in your inbox. Have a great day.